Hello and welcome back. In today's lecture, let's talk about the planning process. There are 7 steps in the planning process, which are setting objectives, developing premises, identifying alternative courses of actions, evaluating alternative courses, selecting an alternative, implementing the plan, and following up action. These are the 7 steps that are involved in the planning process. Let us see each and every step in detail with the help of an example. So I've just written here a case study. So for explaining this topic, I have taken an example of an ice cream company. Everybody likes ice cream, so let us take that as an example. Now you own this ice cream company, it's your company. The first step is setting objectives. What is your primary goal? Every plan starts with objective, which we saw previously as well. Every plan starts with objectives. Objectives get formed first, and then planning helps to develop the route map so we can achieve those objectives. So objective is the primary thing. So what are your objectives? Which is you have a goal to reach a sale of rupees 1 crore per annum. Let's say your business is right now doing 40-50 lakhs of sales per year. Now you have an ambition to make this company doing a sale of 1 crore per annum. Almost, let's say, double the sales. To achieve this 1 crore per annum, you have to double the production. So that is like the next step. So if you double the production, then you will have more things to sell, and then again you can double the sales. To double the production, what should you do? To achieve the above second objective, we need to increase our production capacity. Let's say, as of now, we have only so much production capacity that can generate about 40 to 50 lakhs of sales. Our production capacity can only handle that much amount of demand. Now, if I have a demand of 1 crore rupees per annum worth of sales, then shouldn't I double my production capacity? That means I have to consider what are all the ways in which I can double my production capacity. Okay, the obvious answer is, if you have to double the production capacity, you have to set up one more factory. Okay, so that's the final objective. That's the place where we have to start. If you set up a factory, you can double your production. If you double your production, then you can double your sales. If you double your sales, you will reach the target of 1 crore sales per annum. Okay, so how do we set up a factory? Before we proceed with the final conclusion that we are going to set up a factory, we should also look at the second point of this planning process, which is developing premises. You need to understand what is mean by premises. Premises here mean assumptions. Premises here means assumptions. Now, what are all the things that we are going to assume here? Let's say you are currently in plus 2. If I ask you, what are you going to do after plus 2? You will say, I'm either going to do CA, or you will say, I have to join BCom in some good college, and then from there I want to get into IIM for post-graduation. Or you will also say, you might do ACCA, CFA, or some of you might say data science. Whatever was your answer, why did you decide to choose that? Either you like it, either you really want to be a CA, either you really want to be a data scientist. Okay, then the next question I will ask you, why do you want to become a CA, or why do you want to become a data scientist? Then you will say, currently that is the trend. In next 20 years, in next 30 years, data science is going to rule the market, and CA will never go out of demand. Similarly, you will also say, business is going to increase, India is going to develop, more and more businesses are coming into our country. Therefore, if I get a good MBA from IIM, my career is set. We make all these assumptions, isn't it? So these are all the assumptions. Similarly, we also assume that there will be a great demand for our product, which means we can proceed with full confidence that yes, it's not that tomorrow we'll set up a factory and then we will end up producing extra goods, and then there will be no sales at all, and we have to just throw away all the manufactured products and we will end up in loss. So we are not afraid of the thing. We are not doubtful of whether it will sell tomorrow or not. There is no point of doubt there. We are so sure. So that is the assumption. Again, it is going to happen in the future. So we are forecasting it that way. And then we are saying, if we make all the right decisions, let's say we open the correct factory and we make a good quality product and we make a good sale, we make good advertisement. If we keep making the right decisions, then sales will be doubled in 3 years. This is again another assumption, another forecast. So this is the second step, which is developing premises. Let's go to third step. Once you set the objective and once you make enough assumptions and enough premises, then you go to the third step, which is identifying alternative courses of action. Now, in this case, let us ask ourselves, what is our ultimate objective? Our ultimate objective is to set up a factory, or let's say double the production. For that, we need to set up a factory. Okay, how do we set up a factory? There are two alternatives when we have to double the production. You can set up your own factory, or you can outsource the production function to a third-party manufacturer. In case you don't know what is this outsourcing a production concept, let me explain. Setting up a own factory means you make your own ice cream in your own factory, which means you will find the location yourself. You will first make a factory, then you will set up all the equipment, then you will have your own employees there, you will have your own technicians working inside that. They will be actively involved in the production. You will give them the formula. Everything you will do it by yourself. So that is your own factory. Outsourcing the production to a third party means there is already a person who set up a factory already. He is already doing a full-fledged production function. You just have to give your production recipe to them and then give your raw materials to them. Ice cream, you will have your formula. What could be the raw materials? Milk, sugar, and then flavors. These are the three major raw materials, and then obviously the packing materials, cone or cup or ball, whatever. These alone you will provide to them, and they will do the manufacturing for you, and they will dispatch wherever the distributor is. They will do the sales. So these are the two options that we have. Set up our own factory, do the production all by ourselves, or just simply outsource it to a third party. Now these are the two alternative options. We are done with step 3. Step number 4, how do we decide? We decide based on evaluating both these alternative options. One thing you need to understand in life, when you grow up and proceed further, when you become like active adult and when you get into job market, many things in life you will not be able to take a black and white decision. Things will not be 0 and 1. There will be a lot of gray stuff that will be. Then you will have to inquire that deeply, and then you will have to select what works the best for you. It's not that setting up a production or outsourcing the production, option A or option B. Okay, I'll close my eyes and say option A. You cannot think like that in real life. Again, another classic case of this dilemma in decision making. I'll give you one more option. Tomorrow again you grow up, you get a job in a new city, and you believe that you are going to stay in that city for 5 to 6 years, or let's say 10 years. Will you buy a house in that city or will you rent a house in that city? Don't give me a direct answer yet. Don't say I will buy a house, or don't just say rent a house. Both options have pros and cons. You have to consider all the pros, all the cons under both options, and then you have to consider the trade-offs. What I'm willing to enjoy, what I'm ready to sacrifice, what is something that I cannot compromise at all. You have to consider all these factors and then make your final decision. In the same way, in our example, we have two options we just discussed: own production or outsourced production. Both options have pros and cons. We will discuss them one by one. First, let's talk about own production. What are the advantages? What are the pros of own production? You have better control over operations because it is your own factory. The engineers are your own employees. The production people are your own employees. You can decide when they should come to factory, how long they should work. You can set every terms and conditions of the workplace yourself. You can also fix your salary, so which means better control over operations. Let's say it is a summer season and you have increased demand all of a sudden, so you want the employees to work overtime. You can actually command them to work overtime because it is your factory. Then production secret stays within the company, that is the ice cream, the core recipe that you have, don't you? That stays within your company. When you outsource it, it goes to the other person, obviously, isn't it? Most manufacturers, third-party manufacturers, they keep it confidential, but we cannot trust them. So better quality, because you control the factory yourself, you will impose the safety standards, you will impose the quality standards, you will do your own verification, you will do your own inventory management, everything you will do it yourself. Therefore, you will have better quality output also, and then flexible and cheaper cost. Again, during dull months, when there is no ice cream demand, you can slow down the factory, you can run only one shift. When you have peak demand, you can run 3 shifts. So that is flexible, and also finally cheaper cost. Let's say you can do the entire manufacturing process with 150 people. You can do it at a cheaper cost. And if you suddenly think you don't want 10 extra people or 20 extra people, you can just send them home, and you can reduce the size of the factory, and you can save cost that way. So these are all the pros of own production. Let us see the cons of own production. Needs a heavy capital expenditure. You have to set up a factory, you have to build the entire equipment, you have to invest in heavy plant and machinery, computers, furniture, flooring, many things you have to invest. It is a big headache for the management. And then you have increased legal compliance. You have to adhere to Minimum Wages Act, you have to adhere to Factories Act, you have to adhere to a lot of Licensing Act, Food Safety Act, many things you have to adhere to, and those legal compliances will have extra cost for you, and it is extra headache for you. So extra time and extra cost for the management. So these are the drawbacks of having production, doing the production aspect all by ourselves. Now let's see the second alternative, outsourcing production. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? The biggest advantage is that, which we just saw in the con of the previous model, which is heavy capital expenditure is required. When you go for outsourcing production, you don't need to buy anything, because the third party manufacturer to which you are outsourcing, he would have already set up the factory for you. He would have already been having the production equipment and everything for you. He will have employees and everything for you, so that you don't have to worry about all that. You just have to send raw material and packing material to them, and they will do the job for you. So no capital expenditure needed. That's a big advantage. And then the next thing is, management's time can be directed to other better things, because I don't have to invest in a factory, invest in legal compliance. As a managing director, I can live without tension. My time can be better utilized into some other thing. I can be creative and focus on solving some other better problem. Accounting becomes easy. Usually third-party manufacturers, they will say that if I make 1 cone of ice cream, you have to give me 2 rupees for that. It comes to that only. It comes finally to that. Let's say I ask them to make 1,000 cones of vanilla ice cream. I just have to pay for 1 cone 2 rupees. The amount payable simply comes to rupees 2,000. Accounting becomes extremely easy. I'll just finish this entire thing in 2 journal entries. That's it. But if I have to do it all by myself, if I do the production all by myself, I have to account the assets, I have to account for salaries, I have to account for legal complaints, I have to account for purchase of raw material, then I have to account the production aspect. My accounting becomes extremely complicated if I have own production. The cons of outsourcing production is lack of control. I just said the production formula, you have to give it to the third party manufacturer. Without you giving your formula, how will they know what type of quality output that they have to produce? They can't do. So you have to share your recipe with them. So that means a big part of your production secret is shared with some other company. In case the third party manufacturer turned out to be not so reliable, they will definitely steal the formula and might do some misappropriation of that. Next is not so dependable. Let's say you have a sudden demand of 100 kilograms of ice cream from 5 distributors. Now you need to run the production factory, let's say 2-3 shifts to meet this sudden extra demand. But the third party manufacturer will not cooperate for you. He will say, my employees won't listen to me. Because for the third party manufacturer, you are just a client, you are a company, your production requirement is just a business for him. For you, ice cream is your own product. But for the third party manufacturer, you are just a client. So if they don't want to work on Sundays, if they don't want to work on holidays, they will not work. And if you have increased demand during that time, if you have your own production factory, you can actually have better control and you can let the factory run. But you cannot command the third party manufacturer just like that. So that is not so dependable. And then finally, quality can't be ensured. This is something I can personally assure. I worked in companies which make food products and they had outsourced the production to some third party, and I happened to go to that third party factory and do audit. The third party factory, the quality was terrible. And people won't wear slippers, people won't wear head cap, people won't wear masks, they won't wear gloves, they won't wash the things properly. So many compromises on quality they will do. They don't care about what's the client company's original quality standards are. They just don't need. They just don't worry about that much. So that's the biggest disadvantage under outsourcing aspect. Now, like this, they will do a detailed analysis of all the options. To keep the example simple, I just gave you two alternative course of actions like own production and outsource production. In real life, it gets much more complicated. Each and every objective will have 5 to 6 alternative courses of action, and each of them will have 10 to 12 pros and cons. And then the management will sit and really give a good thinking to it. Then they come up with a final decision, which is selecting an alternative. 4 steps we have discussed, we are in 5th step. Now you have to decide it for yourself. Should I own the production or should I outsource the production? If I'm a small company, I would try to outsource the production as of now, because I will not have the financial ability to generate funds and build a big factory and invest in heavy capital expenditure, and also doing a lot of legal complaints is not my thing. So if I outsource the production, it is little easy for me. But let's say if I'm a very big company, my entire business is dependent on my production formula and the recipe is so important, then I will not outsource the production at all. I will want to have complete control over myself, because if I share the production formula, somebody might steal it and make a product out of it. I don't want to take that risk. So I will do my own production. So I will choose option A in that aspect. So this is how people select the final alternative. One option will be selected after considering all the trade-offs, and then implementation and follow-up action. The last 2 steps are quite simple only. Implementing means, let's say I chose option A, I will actually set up a plant, I will finalize the location and set up a plant there. I will give a next target of, okay, build the factory within 3 months, something like that. Let's say if I'm going with option B, let's say I'm outsourcing the production, then I will have another 2-3 options to select, because I will have multiple third-party manufacturers. Some will be located in Tamil Nadu, some will be located in Andhra, and one might be located in Karnataka. I will have again 3 alternative choices. Then I will have to choose one from them. So that is point number 6. And then last step is follow-up action. Once I have done the implementation, I will have to keep regularly monitoring my decision. Have I taken the right action or not? I chose my own production. Did I choose it correctly or not? Are these assumptions holding good or not? I had a huge assumption that I will have a great demand for this product in the next 5 to 10 years. Is it correctly happening or not? Is the demand there or is the demand evaporating? Or let's say I expected there will not be competition, much of a competition, but in the last 2 years, there were a lot of new entries, new players coming into ice cream business. I will have to keep checking all these things. Let's say when I follow up, a couple of indicators say that it is not worthwhile to produce ice cream anymore, to manufacture ice cream products anymore. I will even consider shutting down that factory. Even if it is my own factory, even if it is an outsourced production, I will decide to even shut that production itself. So that's how you have to keep following up. If the profits are coming to your business as you originally thought to be, then keep proceeding with the same option. If your decision was not so great, let's say the third party manufacturer option did not work well for you, then don't worry about the headache, bear the headache and somehow bite your tongue and build the factory for yourself. Or let's say you built the factory for yourself, now it turned out to be a big control issue for you, too much money and too much attention is going there, simply sell the factory to somebody else and outsource your production to third party manufacturer. So only when you follow up, you will know whether to stay on course with this original decision or you need to jump into the next decision. Only then you will know. So that's it for today's class. I hope you learned something today. In tomorrow's class, we will talk about types of plans. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you and bye bye.